Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen again. What am I going to cook today? Well, it's a gloomy, almost going to rain any minute day today. And so I thought I would put together a Mexican casserole and end it with some a Mexican little treat that my neighbor gave me. But this one is going to be just kind of called the ultimate taco casserole. I wanted something of a comfort food today, and I think this is going to hit the spot. So just a few little ingredients, no big deal, but with almost a little bit different twist to it. So I'm going to start off with showing you how to make the first part of it. First thing you're going to need is a 9x13 pan right here that we are going to spray with some cooking spray. This one's a heavy one. So just spray it real good with some cooking spray. That's the first thing you're going to do. Next thing is, Diane forgot the bowl, so hang on. Well, I think you know me by now. There's always got to be something that I forget. This was one of them that I did forget. So we're going to take some cornbread. And when I went to the store this morning, there's all kinds of different cornbreads to buy. This one's Marie Callender's, which is so simple. You just put the cornbread in. If you want to make your own cornmeal of cornbread, more power to you. That would be even better. But I'm just doing this one and following the directions on the back, which do call for 1 1/2 cup of water, which I have the water here, but I think I'll grab my whisk and I think I'll grab a rubber spatula here because I think that would just be better. So put your 1 1/2 cups of water in, whatever, you know, if you have those little box of Jiffy corn breads, I like those too. I really do. Whichever cornmeal that you like. And this is going to be the bottom base of my beginning of the casserole. It's going to have a nice corn flavor to this casserole that I think you'll like. Set your oven for 350 degrees. Keep it that way because after you get the cornmeal cooked, then we'll begin on everything else. So I'm putting the cornmeal in here. Of all that nice cornmeal. Okay. Gonna stick that in my oven real fast. Let's see, the package does say, what did I do with the package? Huh, there it is. Yes, I'm kind of here today a little bit. Package says for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to try it at 30, so I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes on the cornmeal. While that is cooking, then I'm going to take some onion right here. Now, I'm going to use two different ones. I'm going to use the garden onions for a little later, but I am going to take this bad boy right here. I bought 3 of these, remember, at a farm market. And I pretty well used one whole one up. It was great. Trash bowl. Take off my first layer of the onion. I have shown you that before. Just take that off. It can give a bitter taste if you don't. Some people like it on there. I just don't care for it. Let's see how I do on this one. The last one I cut up. Boy, it really made my eyes water. I'll tell you what. We'll try on this one. I just thought today would be a nice, good day to have something like I said is a comfort food. And one of them is, I'm going to grab a sharper knife. That's for sure. Get me a sharper knife. I have one that I pulled out of the drawer the other day. It's really, I think my husband's hunting knife. dang sharp. It's like, that's the one I want right there. So I'm gonna use that today. Just cut these onions up. Little bitty slices here. Anyway, I think on a cool day, you always like something of comfort. You know, whether it's a good big pot of chili or potato soup, something. But today, I thought, you know what? I haven't cooked Mexican food in quite a while. Well, I'll have a taco here and there, but, you know, usually I cook a big, great big casserole dish of enchiladas. I like them on a cold day. But today is going to be this ultimate taco casserole. And the reason why I say ultimate, you'll see as I keep going with the recipe of how I'm going to put this together and the ingredients of what goes in here. I think it'll be all right. Let's take that skin off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my good old electric skillet, which I have right here. Right here, right here. Right here, right here. And I will start to put all these onions down in here. First of all, get them out of the way. So don't have to smell them anymore and have my eyes water. How about that? Get those kind of out of the way. All right, there that is. I am going to plug it in and get it going. I have mine on a high temperature, so that's fine. And then I'm going to take some hamburger. Now, I had a great big one that I bought just this morning at the grocery store, but I'm using probably a good 3/4 of that hamburger and saving the rest for something else. Because everything is so expensive, you have to kind of level this out a little bit where everything is going to make, you know, another meal and another meal and another meal. I cannot believe the cost of food here lately. I really can't. So my 93-year-old neighbor, who I just adore, she's such a lovely lady. She's a Hispanic lady, and but her English is just fine, you know. And she's lived here for a very, very long time. Her husband passed away, I don't know, I think about 5 or 6 years ago. So it's just her. And she always likes to do things for me if I do things for her. And so I took her over, if you had watched my other video on making my grape jelly, I took a jar of jelly over to her with a great big Ziploc bag of the nice grapes that I had picked. Okay, she liked that. Go ahead and put the lid on and let this simmer and cook. And so she calls me up and she said she had made something for me and could I come to the fence line and get it because she can't walk very well. Okay, yeah, I did. Here she came holding this little bag and a paper plate with these in it. I hope you can see them. Biscochitos, if you say it real fast, biscochitos. They are a Mexican, she called it biscuit cookie. They're New Mexico's state cookie. I didn't know that. So I sat down in the lawn chair with her because older people love that. If you just take a few minutes, you know, of your time to give them some time, they're all for that. So here's the little biscuit cookie, whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be, I think, a cookie. I really do. And she said that she got the recipe in Taos, New Mexico, in a little tiny recipe book that she had found. And she said that her mother, when she made them, they were a lot softer. And so I took a bite of it, and it has cinnamon sugar on top. And I took a bite of it, and I had never had these. You know, I really hadn't. So I said, I'm trying to figure out, because I'm looking at it, and I said, I'm trying to figure out what that seed is, because in my mind I'm thinking, it's not the caraway seed that I put in soda bread. What is this seed? Oh, she says, what is that one? And then it just pot, you know, aniseed? And she said, yes. I said, okay, now I know what's in it. But these are made with true lard, very much like my, the famous original oatmeal cookie that my grandmother made and my mother made. Well, my grandmother made those cookies with lard. That was the original recipe. And these are made with lard. Okay, so after my dinner today, I'll munch on some more of these biscochitos. I hope I'm saying it right, because it doesn't roll off my tongue as easily as it did hers, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so back to the meat. While it is cooking and doing its thing, what I'm going to be adding to this, when I went to the store, and because everything's so expensive, really think about it before you buy a can of this or that you can think, well, I kind of already have those ingredients at home in my refrigerator. Why can't I just make that myself? You can, and I'm going to. So, I'm going to take a little pan here, and I had already, last night I made a nice little dinner, and I had corn on the cob. Okay, so I'm going to take some corn, and I'm going to use this handy dandy little thing that my son's girlfriend gave me that just works like a charm. And what it does is, see how fast this gets the corn off the cob? Very sharp, very nice, easy. Children could use this because it's not going to hurt you at all. I'll take one more here. Corn. This was my Olathe sweet corn that I talked about in my area, the particular brand name of the area, I should say, where they grow this corn. And it's so sweet and so good. I really, really like it. Okay, so we're going to take this, and it'll separate when I cook it, but I'm going to go ahead and put all this in here. And probably, let's just say, one more. This casserole, I made one very similar to this a long, long time ago, but I didn't add the cornbread on the bottom. And I'm telling you, adding that cornbread on the bottom, oh wow, it really did give it a nice flavor. Okay, all of this done, and in here. And then what I'm going to do, because I want the Mexican style corn, I'm going to take one red and one green. I had bought these at the farmer's market. I really had. And I really haven't had a chance to use them in some recipes, so I'm going to now. So these are fresh, ready to go also, that I have washed them, ready to go. And basically all that is in the Mexican style corn are about 3 little ingredients here. So these you need to chop up very fine. I will tell you that on the bell peppers. Just chop them up real fine like this. And we're going to cook these with the corn. Stick them all down in here. I'm going to cook these with the corn. This gives it the nice, pretty red and the yellow color, just like the can on the shelf. Yep. In talking with my neighbor, we were talking about, yes, the food prices in the grocery store. And she said, well, I just don't, I can't cook like I used to because, you know, she's on a fixed income and she can't buy the expensive stuff of what it's doubled and tripled in price in the grocery store. It's like I went on a couple things and I thought, holy moly, you know, what in the world? That has never been that price before. and I had to just pass it up. I really did. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And the cans of things on the shelf, cans of soup, cans of everything, it's like, wow. I watched the young people put things in their basket, and they were buying just kind of crazy stuff too, just to feed their family and make it stretch and go farther. And the poor seniors, I mean, she's 93 years old. She's not eating the way she should be, the way she's used to be eating, because she can't buy the food. It's too expensive. Way too expensive. And I don't like all that right now in our country. I really don't. Now take the green. And, I mean, I'm just taking the tops off because this is probably all I'm going to need, but we'll see if I want more of that. Oh, they smell so good. They really do. So fresh and nice coming from a farmer's market. So good. So again, if you have the ingredients in your cupboard or refrigerator, rather than going and buying it and paying all that price, you know, take a few minutes and cut it up. Put it in the pan and cook it. You'll be glad that you did. You really will. And cans have preservatives and things in there we don't want. We just don't want. I can get that a little bit more in there. This particular dish, yes, it's a casserole and it's in a big dish. Okay. That's all right. Whatever I don't eat, and I won't eat all of it, I can certainly freeze. I really can. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of the green garden green onions. They're always nice to have. I like to get the ends. They have a good flavor to the ends also. So I'm going to put the ends in there and then get a little bit here of this nice white end of the onion and stick that in there. It's the start to another nice week, and I hope everybody's had their nice weekend, back to work, you know, or whatever you're doing. But everything's, you know, doing just fine for you. Okay, so stir your meat around just a little bit. Cornbread's doing just fine. Have to help hamburger along just a little bit. This was 80% lean on the hamburger, which is great. Now I will add some water to this. I'm going to take it on over to the stove and start it cooking. And while this cooks, and the cornbread cooks, and then I'll be right back. I'm back for just a minute to show you how the meat is cooking, but to show you a very important thing about the meat. And I hope you can see it. So in moving the meat around, it has a lot of grease. A lot of grease at the bottom. Lots. Look at that. Just a lot of grease. So I'm going to take this and drain off the grease. And what I like to do in a strainer by the sink is after you have put it in your strainer, colander, whatever you want to call it, I run some warm water all over the meat. That gets the rest of that oil or grease out of there, and that's what I'm going to do right now, and then I'll be right back. Okay, here we go again. So I drained off all of that fat off of the meat, every bit of it. Now, what I'd like to do is, and I'm not one for a lot of seasonings. I'm really not. But I'm going to put in the mild taco seasoning of the package of it. You can put it in when it's cooking with the meat, But I kind of have found over the years that adding it after you have cooked it is a little bit better. It's still going to be your hot meat. I can add a little bit of, just a little bit of water in there to get that seasoning. And I don't even think I used half that package of the seasoning. Now what I want to take is, I have my corn that has nicely cooked. Everything's fine with it, but I don't want all that juice. So rather than running over to my sink every 2 minutes, I'm just going to do it this way of draining off the juice. And I'm pretty sure I have a full can, full big can. And the big cans are about 12-ounce cans of what I need for the Mexican style corn. Now I'm going to put that in there. That gave it a lot of color, didn't it? Yeah. But I'm not done. Stir that around. This is why it's called the ultimate. Now I'm going to take some black beans, but I am going to, again, drain off that juice. Don't know that I will take all of the can of beans. Rinse it off. Rinse it off. Same principle as if you were just standing there at your sink doing it. And it depends on you how many of the beans that you like. So I'm going to go half of these beans and see what I think. If you're making this for a large crowd, and it does look like it's a large crowd, but I'm not going to use all of this. I can use this mixture right here for other things too. Yeah, I think the beans, that's just about enough on the beans. Let me grab something else here to put the rest of those beans in. I realized I had that many beans in one little can. So many bowls, what to do? So many bowls. Okay, take that. Set it in a separate bowl because we don't need that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is you take a 12-ounce can of the Rotel diced tomatoes and green chilies. They look like this. 12-ounce can. And again, I only want the tomatoes of this, so I need to have that juice out of there. Just drain it out and put that in here now. The whole can. The whole can. I'll set this over in my sink. I will get rid of it. Looks like a lot, doesn't it? But it does look yummy. Does look yummy. Just make sure everything is mixed really well. Really, really well. Okay, so let me kind of go over the recipe on a few little things here before I stick all this together. So, a good pound of hamburger, 1 onion that I used, the tomatoes from this Rotel original diced tomatoes and green chilies. This is a 12-ounce can. The taco seasoning, mild or hot to your preference. I don't even know what to tell you on that because I like stuff a little mild. You might like it hot, and that's okay. The cornbread, just a package of any kind of cornbread because that's your bottom base. You're going to put the cornbread first in the 13x9 greased pan and cook it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Now we're going to start adding, let's see if I can get this up a little closer here to me. This may look funny, but it won't here in a few minutes. Beans out of the way. You're also going to need some Mexican style cheese. I bought the larger one today at the grocery store, mainly because I like it, yes, on my tacos, my turkey tacos that I make quite often. I really do. And so I decided it was just better to buy the larger one, bite the bullet and pay the price on that, and get the larger one rather than all those little small ones. Yep, smells great, smells great. So a couple ways you can do this. You can take it first and put the cheese down on the cornbread, which that's kind of what I'm going to do. That cheese, just a little bit to get it a little coated here. Then we're going to take the meat sauce here of all this meat and start putting that in here. I can tell you that just adding that jar, I can smell those chilies in there. I can already. I can. Now again, this is a larger pan of a dinner, of a casserole dish, which I will probably be freezing more than half of this. I am going to take my neighbor a good sized portion of this because I think she'll really like it. There's two different kind of casseroles that you can make with this. You can put all of this together like what I'm going to show you here, or you can take this mixture here and not the cornbread and just take the whole bottom part of your casserole dish and put the refried beans down there, and that's always good too. Okay, so we have this part. But now I'm going to jazz it up a little bit, and I'm going to take, these are just your tostados of your corn chips. And I bought the round ones because I thought the round ones would be better for this particular recipe. So we need some more crunch in here besides that corn on the bottom. And so I'm going to put these just here and there. I mean, you certainly can decorate it the way you want to and have all of it uniform with just the round if you want. But a chip's a chip, you know, and it's going to get broken anyway in the sack or whatever. So I'm not too particular about this. I'm going to stick that in there. And then I really like the little corn chips, the Fritos corn chips. So I'm going to put just a few of those around. Put a few of those around. See if I can get this out of the way so I can. Now it's not too bad to handle. Then I'm going to add more cheese, of course. More cheese. Now you can add, and I'm going to add just a little bit of it. That's why it's called Ultimate. Get you some good paste picante sauce. Again, I bought the mild. If you like hot on everything, then get things that are hot, you know? Get it where it's hot. And just kind of sprinkle that around in areas. Not a whole lot, because you already have your, you already have the basis for the can of the Rotel. And again, load it with cheese. Load this with cheese. I'm probably going to stick a cookie sheet underneath this so that whatever drips out will get all over my oven where I have to clean it. It's no bother to clean, it's just, you don't want that. Okay, I'm going to stick this back in my 350-degree oven for, maybe 25, 30 minutes, give or take. We just want it long enough for that cheese to melt really nice. Everything else is pretty well cooked in there, but we want that cheese to melt and be real gooey. And then I'll come back and show you the final result that I'm having in this ultimate taco casserole. I'll be right back. Okay, it's out of the oven. Wow. I can't tell all of you out there that are watching how wonderful this smells in my kitchen, but it smells pretty doggone good. It really does. So it took the 30 minutes, between 25 and 30 minutes, and I put it on not quite the 30 minutes. I just wanted to get that cheese all melted. Oh my gosh, it just smells heavenly, it really does. So, I think I'll take a little sample bite here to let you know. Now, normally, if you were doing this and you were setting it on your table, like for a lot of people, whether you have 4 or 6, whatever, at your table. Say you had, you know, some guests over, it was another couple or whatever, or just you, your husband, and your children, whoever is at your dining room table eating this. The thing to do is just put all kinds of shredded lettuce on top of it. I took some more of my garden green onions and cut them up, and I would be putting that, and I would be putting the olives. Pardon me. Something got in my nose. I really do apologize for that. The remainder of what I had, which was a lot, it was a lot of meat. So a pound, which I had a little bit more than a pound. I used 3/4 of that package, which was a lot. So this I'm going to save. I'm going to put the top on it here. Put this probably in the freezer and make a whole nother casserole with this. May not even use the cornbread. Like I said, I think I would do another one that I would do the layering effect of having the refried beans on the bottom, then the meat mixture, and you know, the chips, more refried beans, cheese, just do a layer effect. But this one's not that. This one is kind of the ultimate taco casserole all its own. It really is. So in digging into this, I said pretty much everything else you already cooked when you cooked your meat and had that corn cooking. And between the cornbread on the bottom and the meat, see if I can get it out without making too much of a mess. Yeah, doesn't that look good? And then, see what I would take now is the lettuce that I have, that I'd like to go on top of it. A good amount of lettuce. I can put some more of the onions on here. Always, oops, lost one under there. There you are. Of the olives, which I like. And of course the finale is to take a dollop of sour cream. A little dollop of sour cream on there. And that's the finale for this particular casserole dish. Is it gonna be yummy? I think so. I'll taste it and let you know. I want it to kind of cool down just a little bit before I put it in my mouth, but I'll taste it here. Oh, wow. Just enough seasoning. I wouldn't put any more. As you noticed, I didn't put salt and pepper in here because that seasoning packet has everything in it. And I didn't use half the package. Probably a good 2 tablespoons of the seasoning. So some hamburger, onion. If you don't have the Rotel of the diced tomatoes and green chilies, go ahead and just take 2 tomatoes and cut them up. The Mexican style cheese, and some black olives, sour cream, your lettuce, a little bit of salsa, whatever you have. The cornbread on the bottom, and layer it like this, and you've got quite a meal. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of this. I'll tell you that right now. And to finish off, I'll have my neighbor's biscochitos. If I say it right, I hope I do. Biscochitos, say it real fast. I don't think I could go wrong. Which has the anise seeds in there, which are a licorice flavor. But you really can't, you can't taste that licorice in there at all. They're just, you know, cinnamon sugar on top, and they're just, I think, right after having a meal like this. So I hope you're enjoying your day. I hope you liked my little video. If you do, follow me on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube so that when the next video comes, you know, I'll pop up and you don't have to do anything but look at my video and like me and comment. Check out my website, www.cookingwithcaroldiane.com. And please don't forget, I do have my cookbook still for sale. So this one is the Ultimate Taco Casserole from my kitchen to yours. Go have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye now.